How does a company lose $1.9 billion in a single year and still convince the world's smartest investors that it's worth $47 billion? We are told that WeWork was the future of how humanity would live and work together, but in reality, it was a real estate company masquerading as a tech giant, fueled by a cocktail of low interest rates and one man's intoxicating personality. Adam Neumann didn't just sell office space, he sold a spiritual revolution. He marketed the We generation, promised to elevate the world's consciousness, and used a private jet to do it. The world watched in awe as valuations soared, ignoring the basic laws of economics that eventually bring every bubble back to Earth. This isn't just a story about a failed business, it is a cautionary tale of how collective delusion can turn a simple subletting business into a global phenomenon right before it all comes crashing down. Welcome to the rise and spectacular fall of the $47 billion illusion called WeWork. The story begins in the year 2010, in the aftermath of the Great Recession. Adam Neumann, a 6'5" Israeli immigrant with boundless energy and a gift for gab, noticed something. New York was full of empty office buildings and lonely freelancers. Alongside his co-founder Miguel McKelvey, he launched the first WeWork location in Soho. The concept was simple. Sign a long-term lease for an entire floor, chop it up into tiny glass-walled cubicles, and rent them out at a premium for short-term use. But Neumann knew that subletting sounded boring. It didn't attract venture capital. Instead, he pitched it as a physical social network. He promised more than a desk. He promised community, free beer on top, and a sense of belonging. The growth was explosive. By the year 2014, WeWork was the fastest-growing lessee of new office space in New York. Investors were hooked on the narrative. Neumann wasn't just a CEO. He was a messianic figure who believed his own hype, and he was just getting started. In the year 2017, the fire met the gasoline. Enter Masayoshi-san, the founder of SoftBank and the mastermind behind the $100 billion Vision Fund. Legend has it that Masa met Neumann for just 12 minutes, took a tour of a building, and decided to invest billions. Sun told Neumann that he wasn't being crazy enough. This was the ultimate validation for a man who already thought he could live forever and become the world's first trillionaire. With SoftBank's billions, WeWork entered a phase of hyper-growth that would make most tech startups blush. They opened locations in London, Tokyo, and Shanghai at a breakneck pace. The business model was terrifyingly simple. Spend $2 to make $1 and hope nobody notices the difference. They'd acquired companies that had nothing to do with desks, like a wave pool company and a coding school. The valuation hit $20 billion, then $47 billion. On paper, WeWork was more valuable than Ford or Delta Airlines. But beneath the surface, the foundation was beginning to crack. As the money poured in, the corporate culture at WeWork became something out of a fever dream. Internal summer camps were mandatory music festivals where employees were expected to party as hard as they worked. Neumann's lifestyle became legendary and increasingly bizarre. He traveled the world in a $60 million private jet, which he reportedly filled with greenery and expensive tequila. He trademarked the word we and then charged his own company nearly $6 million to use it. The governance of the company was virtually non-existent. Neumann held all the voting power, and his wife Rebecca was given the power to name his successor. This wasn't a public company in waiting. It was a private kingdom fueled by investor cash. Employees worked 80-hour weeks, motivated by the promise that their stock options would make them millionaires. They truly believed they were changing the world. But while they were installing neon signs that said, "Hustle harder," the finance department was desperately trying to figure out how to hide the massive losses. The beginning of the end arrived in August of the year 2019. WeWork officially filed its S-1 paperwork to go public. For the first time, the general public and professional analysts got a look at the actual books. What they found was a disaster. The document was filled with Neumannisms about elevating consciousness, but it also revealed that the company was burning through hundreds of millions of dollars every single month. They even invented their own financial metric called Community-Adjusted EBITDA, which was essentially a way to pretend they were profitable by ignoring almost all of their actual expenses. The market's reaction was swift and brutal. Within weeks, the $47 billion valuation plummeted to $15 billion, then $10 billion. The IPO was postponed, then canceled. The bank accounts were running dry. WeWork needed a rescue, but the only way to get it was to get rid of the man who started it all. The board turned on Neumann, and the illusion shattered. In a move that left employees and investors stunned, Adam Neumann was forced to step down as CEO, but he didn't leave empty-handed. To walk away quietly, SoftBank paid him a staggering exit package worth nearly $1.7 billion. While Neumann walked away a billionaire, the workers who actually built the company were left in the dust. Thousands of layoffs followed. The stock options that employees had been promised would be life-changing became virtually worthless. The company's valuation took a nosedive to roughly $8 billion, a nearly $40 billion wipeout of perceived value in just 90 days. SoftBank was forced to take over the company to save it from total bankruptcy, effectively paying billions to own a business that was now worth a fraction of what they had already spent. It was one of the greatest destructions of venture capital value in history. The golden boy was gone, leaving behind a trail of empty desks and angry investors. WeWork's story didn't end with Neumann's departure, but it was never the same. The company eventually went public via an SPAC in the year 2021, but the glamour was gone. The world had changed. The pandemic made the idea of shared office spaces a nightmare for many, and the rise of remote work fundamentally challenged the core business model. By November of the year 2023, WeWork officially filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The $47 billion decacorn was gone. The lesson of WeWork is a stark reminder of the growth at all costs era. It proved that a charismatic leader, combined with a flood of cheap capital, can create a reality distortion field that even the most seasoned experts can fall for. You aren't just paying for a desk, you're paying for the story being told about the desk. In the world of business, if something feels too good to be true, it's usually because it's an illusion. And when the music finally stops, the person who sold you the dream is often the only one who gets out with the cash. I hope this deep dive gave you a new perspective on the strategies and the relentless mindset behind these global icons. If you enjoy deconstructing business empires and tech legends in this Tech Archive style, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. That way, you will never miss a new blueprint of history. For those of you ready to explore more boardroom coups and technological breakthroughs, I have handpicked 2 videos for you right here on the screen. Click one to keep watching. I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.